Hi, I'm Jerry, and I love to fish. But when I tell people about my fly-in fishing trips to Canada, they get a little intimidated by all the planning. So I put together this series to help you plan your own trip. Hopefully, you'll have as much fun as we do. This video is on what to expect when you get up there and our normal schedule. So first of all, we fish 2 times a day so that we spend more times on the water instead of getting up, making a big breakfast, going out fishing a little bit, come back for lunch. We like to come back for a brunch. So we get up, we go out. You're going to probably get up sometime around 6 o'clock. That's what time the sun rises normally. But you get up, you grab a cup of coffee. First person up makes the coffee so that everybody else has coffee available to them. I like to grab a breakfast bar and then you head out to the water. You come back in around 11 o'clock for a brunch. When you come in, there's all kinds of things that need to be done. The 2 people usually do the cooking, 2 other people clean the dishes, somebody fills the gas tanks. I mean, there's all kinds of other chores, and I'll go over that in a whole nother video. And then we head back out around 2 o'clock. Between 11 and 2 is probably some of the worst fishing during the day. It's also during the hottest part of the day. It does get hot in Canada. So we usually head out around 2. If we're going to go exploring or something like that, maybe head out just a little bit earlier or maybe even a little bit later. We come back in around 7 o'clock for dinner. And then after dinner, you have to be careful with the mosquitoes. So we like to hang around and play cards and things like that. You don't want to be out on the lake when it gets dark because the mosquitoes will come out of the woods and just, it's almost scary because you can hear the whole woods humming and buzzing sometimes. Now sometimes mosquitoes aren't as bad as other times, but we try to stay off the lake around dark. So you go out there, you can stargaze. If the mosquitoes aren't bad, you can go out to the dock, you can watch satellites, things like that, tell stories, and so on. And then we used to go and they didn't have showers in a lot of the cabins. So you go to the end of the dock with a 5-gallon bucket, you pour water on yourself, you soap off, you pour water again. It's miserable. So we would do it maybe once or twice a week. We got used to doing that. So now the cabins we go to have hot running water. So we normally take a shower about 3 times a week. When you're inside, you're out in the boat all day. You've got wet shoes, you got mud on the shoes, fish slime on your pants. Pike are extremely slimy. So what we like to do is bring an extra pair of clothes, we call them indoor shoes, and then just some relaxing clothes that we'll put on each night just so that we're not going to bed with dirty, stinky clothes. There's plenty of boats and motors at these cabins. So you might want to check to see if there's anything you need to bring. There is one outfitter that we used and they required us to bring our own life jackets and nets. So make sure you understand from the outfitter what is needed, but you don't need to worry about it. There are plenty of boats, plenty of motors. There's extra ones, spare ones if something happens. And then there's lots of gas cans for refilling the boat. That's all supplied at the cabins. The outhouse is usually through the woods. The reason I bring this up is, number one, you don't smell it. It doesn't bother you or anything like that. But make sure you bring a flashlight because when you get up in the middle of the night and have to use the outhouse, it can be kind of scary walking through the woods. The cabins all have propane tanks. The propane is used for the oven and stove. Some have hot water heaters as well. Now, normally they don't have hot water heater unless they have a generator and a water pump. So the water pump will pump the water straight from the lake into the cabin. So you still need to boil it for drinking. And I'm going to stress in every single video, you need to stay on top of the water. So we take it and in the morning we try to boil some water in a big pan, let it sit there. So when we come back in for the lunch break or brunch break, we can then pour it into plastic containers and we stay ahead of the water, and if you run out of water and then you don't have anything to drink for a while, it's a bad thing. So some cabins have generators. Now we actually stayed at one that had a real small generator that just went to the water pump. Some of them have big generators. You can use it for the lights and stuff. You're in Canada, you're in the middle of nowhere. The last thing you want is some big motor to be running all day long. It kind of takes away from it. So you're not really going to run the generator that much, but you will run it when you come in and cook your meals and stuff, so you've got running water to clean the dishes and things like that. All the cabins have pots, pans, kitchen utensils, plates, cups. You don't need to worry about any of those type of things. Again, check with your outfitter. Make sure you understand what is in the cabin. They do have a propane refrigerator, so it's going to say, "Oh, we've got a refrigerator." These things are propane. They're not like your refrigerator at home. They're just going to keep your eggs and bacon and things like that cooled, but it's not going to cool down, a couple cases of soft drink or beer or anything like that. You want to kind of put those in gingerly. You don't really want to flood the refrigerator with too much stuff because it takes a long time for it to cool all that stuff down. The kitchen, the cabin itself usually has a kitchen and a dining area. You'll see some of the pictures of what it might look like. And usually there's going to be 2 or 3 bunk rooms. I like to stress that bring earplugs, because if you've got 8 or 10 people in your group, like we usually have, you always have people. This is the kitchen area right there. You can kind of see. But the people always snore, so be prepared and bring some earplugs. Beds do not have blankets or pillows, so bring a sleeping bag. I like to bring a sheet with it because if it's really hot in July, it does get really hot up there. You don't want to be inside of a sleeping bag, but it's nice to throw a real thin sheet over you, for that. And then for pillows, I've seen the inflatable pillows. You have a thing with. You have to be careful with weight, but you also have to be careful for the quantity of stuff you bring up, because you want to try to get all this stuff onto one flight into your lake. You pay by weight. Don't bring lots of extras, and I'm going to stress that over and over. Make sure everybody on the group knows what the kit, we call it the kit, that's the group of stuff that everybody will share. Make sure everybody knows what that is, because you don't want people bringing extra things that you've already got packed. Always stay on top of the drinking water. I'll stress that over and over again. And that's what I have on this. Hopefully you'll have a good time, and let me know if you have any questions. Please visit walleyejair.com for other videos and files.